And I think we've seen that. I mean, this being the first game, we've seen that in scrimmages, and we've seen that. I think what's really going to set the Hustlers apart is they need their coach to be their coach.
Yes, you
Um,
cannot just be a pushover to everybody. Then we got a bobble,
so he
fumble recovery.
didn't. Okay,
Jonas
and
Taylor.
did he get touched? Or-
Oops, sorry.
Hey, Peter, could you? Yeah. Hey, hey, Liam, would it be easier to stay on this side? Thank you.
I'll just speak up a little bit louder. It's also windy out.
Yeah.
All right, what are your expectations here, Austin? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna need, Jackson at quarterback. We're gonna see how he does today.
A little wild throw right there.
I don't think he's the most mobile quarterback. So one thing they're gonna have to learn to is, block and defeat the blitz.
I agree. If I'm the Hustlers, I'm sending two every play.
Exactly. I haven't seen the talent of their center yet, but no running backs and
That's a good throw right
there
there
you
by
go.
Jackson.
About what, 7 yards?
Going back to the Jaheim Drisden topic here, he's a great, phenomenal player, but maybe this pickup hurts them. Knowing that he's only here for 4 games. Maybe he takes the shine, and then once he's gone, they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I agree. Especially, the Dimes having Sean Josie and Jaheim. It's going to be a very tough time for them getting into the playoffs when they don't have
will
those.
be back next week, correct?
Yes, but he won't be here for the playoffs, from what I've heard.
And
So
also Cornell Wilson comes back
right,
next week.
losing two of their best players, going for the playoffs is it's going to really hurt them. They're going to get used to those playmakers being there.
Yeah. We see where the mobility of Jackson is having an impact on this game. After scrimmaging the Hustlers, we've seen that they blitz two and they come in pretty quick.
Yeah.
They got fast guys on the edge.
And really, what the Dimes are gonna have to work on here is, covering all sides of the blitz. Whether it is putting running backs in the backfield in order to block and getting the right guys back there, I think that's going to be very important for them for the outcome of this game.
It's not like you have Omar as your quarterback. Where if they blitz two, you only have to block one and let Omar roll out.
Exactly. It's going up for
Don
wow, Don Quill
down with the ball.
Wow, about the 4-yard line now.
Yeah, with the absence of Michael Gould for whatever reason, still unknown.
And really, Obi, this doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, we all knew this was going to happen. We all knew that Michael Gould is not a reliable player to have on your team. I just.
My source Will Wagner says that he heard that he was fishing before the game. Oh, Louis DeShower with a nice move, and
he's sacked.
Down.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised. This is not a priority for him, which
He's
I think
made known obvious.
having him at your starting quarterback is not the smartest move by Liam, but that's his decision. It's his team.
Maybe Louis has a great game. Even if Michael decides to come back and be dedicated, maybe that's Louis' job now.
And that's really my stance on this. I think Louis is the best quarterback on that team. He's a great athlete all around, a great receiver, but I think in terms of quarterback, you need to have Louis there.
Yeah. Let's see what we do here. It's about second down. Louis DeShower dropping back.
Looking at Don Quill.
No rush, really. Has all the time in the world. Dumps the ball off. Oh, yeah.
And it's intercepted. Down at the catch.
One of the worst things you could do is just float a ball in a short yardage situation.
Yeah.
A little surprised that he didn't look to run there. They didn't have a pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
Could have just turned it up. Even if you pretend like you're running, you pull up one of those defenders and you have an easy pass.
And that's really what we've seen.
A lot of 2-on-1 situations
exactly.
Forced throughout these last couple.
And it shocked me last game the lack of blitzing. But in the Keene Bowl and maybe a little less blitzing in this game from the Hustlers. So.
Yeah. Especially after
or from the Dimes. My bad.
Last year, you had the Keene Bowl. They're blitzing 2 or 3 every play, getting constant pressure on the quarterback. But I think the addition of Wendell Bethel as your quarterback changes that situation a lot.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe you don't want to rush because you want him to think pass first. But if you don't rush, then he can still run the ball.
Yeah, and they're completely worried about containing him,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be. I'm really interested to see what coaches do to combat
The Hammers offense.
Wendell Bethel in this
Yeah.
league.
You know, we saw Jamie Pabula have a phenomenal game. Mark Hawkins had a pretty good game, you know.
I mean, the Hammers all around had an amazing game, which I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of players of the week came from the Hammers.
Yeah, you know, offensive player as of right now is probably Jamie Pabula.
High snap,
Jackson looks better throw.
and it's right there to Jaheim.
That is, in fact, Jaheim Drisdom. The great catch.
You got 7 yards here to go. Been very slow moving down the field so
It's
far.
already been made pretty obvious that Jaheim Drisdom is that target on that team as of right now. You watch Jackson, his eyes are going straight to Jaheim.
I think the addition of Cornell next week is going to balance that out a little bit because Cornell will be here the whole season.
Yeah. And Cornell's one of the top athletes in this league we have right now.
But I'm really interested to see what happens come playoff time.
You know, after really looking
about
at
the
it,
40-yard
I think
line.
every team in this league has a chance to compete. And it's overthrown.
And it's incomplete.
You know, playing that quarterback position, you cannot let that affect you. You know, you have to just pretend like it didn't happen.
Sitting about the 43-yard line. See what they decide to do here. They're bringing 2 blockers, 3 rushers.
Gets the edge.
Wow.
All right,
first
Jackson.
down.
You take yards in football.
He know what he needed to do, and he took the opportunity to do so.
And he went and got it. I don't know about anybody, but third and short is a lot better than third and longer.
Exactly. Yeah.
The worst thing you could do is force any balls over the middle or try and throw across your body.
Right.
Quick ball to Jaheim, and it's just a little high for him.
And the hustlers, really what they're doing here is they're blitzing inside. So that gives Jackson.
They want Jackson to roll out.
They want Jackson to roll out, but if he's rolling out, he's going to get 5 yards every time, taking these receivers downfield.
That's one thing that I've noticed, that you can't get too complacent with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't get frustrated only getting 5 yards of play. You take it and you can't get bored of it.
Right.
You don't want to force anything.
Wow. And it's wow,
crazy
what a
play
by Joe.
Is he short?
Taylor?
He's at the 1 yard line.
1 yard line. What a catch.
Yeah, good focus and way to keep your eyes on the ball and don't get flustered out there.
That type of tracking is something a lot of guys are missing in this league, especially football players that have never played the sport before. And that's something that every team really wants to instill in their team, and the fact that he had that naturally was very impressive.
Yeah. At the 1 yard line, he throws it up to looks like Jaheim Drisdom. Almost a little surprised that they don't let Jaheim go play quarterback and run a power.
Yeah, that's they need speed in the backfield, I believe, when it's in these short yardage situations.
Is it working though? Okay. Yes, sir. Yeah, if I'm coaching the Dimes right now, I have Jaheim in that backfield right now.
Yeah, I'd agree. They need speed back there in general.
Yeah. Mixed them. The wind isn't helping with this audio.
Yeah.
6-0 Dimes.
Believe so. Yes.
Going for the conversion.
I remember in the field side chat, I picked the Dimes to win. I guess everyone else really besides Liam, or besides Jackson.
And Jackson misses high on the wide open receiver in the end zone.
And I really think the Dimes' chance of winning went up exponentially after yesterday's waiver wire draft.
Yeah.
Adding Jaheim. Really all their playmakers were gone for this week, so.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how that waiver wire shakes it all up. Because a lot of the players that were selected aren't going to be here, aren't here today. Us
Right.
having Donald Thomas.
Yes.
There's talks that Jarrett Wolf might not stay on the Goblins. He might be going to the Hunters, who's a team who desperately needs a quarterback.
And that would be
That'd be
deadly for the
dangerous.
league.
That'd be dangerous because it's already hard enough to stop Omar Guevara by himself, but you throw in Andrew Clipstein, who's a decent athlete. Cameron Burns, another good guy.
And you give
Yeah.
them a seasoned quarterback. I mean,
Somebody who might not be the most mobile guy in the world, but definitely has a good enough arm to hit those short dump-off passes.
right.
Omar's team, you could tell they like to run a lot of crossers because they have a lot of speed.
It's really having the experience of a quarterback. You just know how to play the game, and you know what to look for.
Yeah.
Not being experienced is just puts your team at such a disadvantage, and that's why we see with the Pioneers having such an advantage at the quarterback position. Pretty much every other team has
Running
a
off.
lackluster quarterback.
Yeah. And being that quarterback, I can confirm that this is true. Looks like Omar Guevara has an injury from reffing.
It's a dangerous sport.
Yeah.
Roughing in itself.
They don't call it rough two for no reason. Little
Exactly.
pooch kick right there,
Wow.
bouncing. All right, Louis DeShower picks it up.
And
And
he
he's
makes it
down.
a short gain, probably about 2 yards after the catch. This?
The ref jersey.
Right. I think in terms of offense, the Hustlers have a great team.
Yeah.
I just think they need to add some.
That will
okay.
take us to our second quarter.
All right.
Unfortunately, I didn't hear a 2-minute warning get called. I could be wrong. I believe there's a 2-minute warning in every quarter.
In every half. Is that done in the first quarter or second quarter?
I'm pretty sure it's every quarter.
I don't believe so.
I could be wrong.
I think it's every half.
Possibly.
All right. Well, what are your takeaways from that first quarter of play?
Pretty much what I expected. I didn't expect this to be a high-scoring game. I thought it was going to take, methodical drives, good defense flipping the field. And that is exactly what happened.
And I think the reason why these teams are so low scoring is mainly because of the lack of practice and lack of coaching on these both of these teams. I talked to guys from both teams, and they talk about how one team hasn't even had a practice, only held a scrimmage, and the other team hasn't practiced at all. So
one being the Hustlers, second team being the Dimes.
I believe so. Yes.
Yep. And then the Dimes also missing a lot of players.
Missing Chris Jacobs, missing
Cornell Wilson, Josie.
Oh yeah, Sean Josie, right. And all three of them are real game changers. I mean, just having one here increases their odds of winning by a lot.
Absolutely, 100%.
So missing all three really hurts them, and I'll be happy if this is a close game.
Yeah. So far, so good. Not much exciting stuff happens, but these games are the ones that they come down to the end and make the best games.
I really do think it'll be a nail biter.
I think this comes down to similar like our game, the Pioneers Hunters game. It comes down to that last 2 minutes. Who can make the big play, who can step up and get their guys in the right position.
Right. I mean, just to talk about the games that happened today. The Pioneers and the Hunters. We
saw two completely different games happen.
We did.
For the first two.
The first two, a lot of people expected it to be a runaway for the Pioneers. But in reality, having 7 guys playing both sides of the ball, and having the playmakers that the other team has, it was a really tough game.
As being the coach of the Pioneers, I couldn't imagine you being nothing but completely proud of your team.
Right.
Going out, battling it out, putting effort in. Signing a guy who wasn't supposed to even play for us.
Right.
Being a coach.
Yeah.
And he stepped up, he helped out, and they put effort in.
Everybody had to do their part in that game, and the real reason why we won is because there were mistakes on the other team, and every person on the Pioneers really chipped in and did a great job. So
football's a game where
oh wow,
capitalizing on mistakes is
exactly
a game changer. Turnovers, we almost saw a turnover right there. Louis DeShower bobbles the handoff.
that's
Loss of about 2-3 yards.
mistakes really are deadly.
I think Don Quayle is one of the more underappreciated players in this league, and I think he's gonna make Liam Livingston making a very nice catch.
And I was just looking at the center and the blitzer. I'm very surprised by the performance of the center and the coaching because, being such a big guy of Trenton Graves I think that he could be a phenomenal center. It's just I don't think he's got the coaching to have that. He gets an altercation with the guy and lets him walk by. If you'll see that here.
Right there,
actually, he made a good play there.
That center position, physicality is what makes or breaks that position.
Exactly.
You see guys like Zach Sigmund.
Right.
Even though he's not here for a while, but
he's an amazing center.
He's too physical. People don't like that in leagues like this with two hands.
Right.
And there's no saying that you're not allowed to be physical. So the best centers are going to be the ones that play the hardest and be the most physical.
I completely agree. And that's he's down.
He's down. Could have been a big gain right there. If Louis could get the ball up.
Very low.
Very low throw. He's throwing opposite across his body. Even for regular quarterbacks, the rolling left and throwing right is a very difficult thing to do.
Right, and really, I mean, just to mention it again in the second quarter, Michael Gould still nowhere to be seen.
And I don't think anyone has heard from him. I don't think really anybody knows why he's not here.
Very surprised. I mean, well, I'm not going to say very surprised about that, but shocking that his team hasn't got a hold of him.
Yeah, and haven't spoken to any of them, but I wonder if they even really tried to. I thought they might have just accepted it and left.
Oh, wow. Run, and Don Quayle stops him probably for a gain of 5?
About 4 or 5 yards, yeah. You do that twice, you're already halfway to a first down. You have 2 more plays. This is nobody really punts in this league. But you really, truly have all 4 of those downs.
Right. Really all you need in this league is 5 yards of play. And if you can secure 5 yards of play every play, it's a score every time on offense. Low snap, and it is
a beautiful throw from Jackson to Jaheim Drisden over the middle. That's where you really see Jaheim's athleticism come into play. He's a starting safety at Vero Beach High School for 2 years.
And he had a phenomenal athlete,
Louis
DeShower on him. So
but Louis also playing quarterback. Louis is going to get gassed a little quickly.
Exactly.
He has to play.
I would suggest substituting often, moving your guys around, letting people sitting out like Robert Craig in the game.
Take advantage of those extra players.
Exactly.
Maybe just give Don Quayle a couple plays at guarding Jaheim,
Right. I mean, really, not every team has the luxury to let their players take breaks. And the fact that they have this luxury, not taking advantage of it, is very surprising.
We almost see an interception on that conversion right there. Score should now be 12-0 Dimes.
And I think you started saying this earlier. Don Quayle is really one of the most underappreciated people in the league. I just think he's an amazing athlete. Really, no one knew who he was.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to pick him because of his age. But he really rises above in terms of athleticism and just knowing the sport.
And quick fact check: did Don Quayle play last season?
He did not.
He did not play last season. Okay, so that also helps his case of being unknown.
I mean, he still came to the
combine.
One of the combines, or I might be wrong. No, that was Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was who was at the combine.
Who I believe plays for the Dimes.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, it should be 12-0.
Okay, and it's.
You see Don Quayle with the catch on the kick return.
Was that one hand?
Down. He's not down. See, here's the thing. You cannot say he was touching one hand and stop running.
Right. The quarterback for the Goblins is here now.
Or is he the quarterback for the Goblins? Controversy, Jarrett Wolf being signed yesterday.
And I think really that was the right move for the Goblins. I think Jarrett Wolf would have slipped to Omar, and that would have been deadly for the league. He might end up going to Omar's team anyway. But the Goblins really needed that other quarterback there because
Mason Sweat's reliability is still in question.
it's very in question. So
Louis DeShower rolls left. He looks like he's taking off,
and is that down? It looked like he got his leg. Maybe not.
we're gonna go with the game about 8 yards, 9 yards. You know, although Michael Gould might not be a better quarterback than Louis, but I think the addition of Louis getting the opportunity to play receiver
Exactly.
is a very, very game-changing thing. Because now you have to worry about Donquell and Louis playing receiver.
And really, what I think, my opinion on what the Hustlers should do here is try to find a QB in the next waiver wire draft, because really having Michael Gould there, Louis is a great receiver. They need someone who's not going to crack under pressure, who's able to play quarterback and play efficiently and get the ball around the field.
Definitely agree. You know, Louis is somebody who you want on that receiver position. You don't want him playing quarterback.
Exactly. Robert Craig on the field now. Let's see what he can do.
Louis dumps off to
Liam Livingston, and
he
he's
is
down.
by Jackson McGuire.
That's some owner v. owner action right there.
There we go. About a 4-yard gain.
Is that
It is now
fourth down
I
or
believe.
turnover on downs? Because
We're going to go ahead and, I guess,
that's
we're
showing
going fourth
first.
down.
all right, seems to be fourth down with about 7
About
yards to go.
Louis takes
And
off.
Louis
he's
rolls, and
going
he's getting the first down.
And he's still
Wow.
running. There we go.
Stopped by Dion Collins.
Big
And really what I want to talk about is the matchup of Dion Collins and Donquell Wesley. I think it's going to be a great matchup throughout the whole game. They're both similar in athleticism and
Similar body type, similar size.
a great matchup for each other. Liam.
Louis DeShower drops back to scan in the field. He sees Donquell running
And
across, and he floats it.
Oh,
And
wow.
Could not
Wow.
keep his eyes on the ball there. He heard the footsteps.
That is a
Crucial.
gimme touchdown.
That is a walk in the end zone right there.
Wow. And, you know, it really does happen to the best receivers out there. So you can't beat up on them too much for it. We saw
you watch NFL games and you watch Julio Jones drop a post in the end zone, you know.
Right. And we saw that last game, too, in the Keene Bowl, where Will Morgan, you know, he had some wide open catches, but he just couldn't secure the catch. And it happens in this league. You know, you're on the big stage, and oh, wow.
Good pickup.
Blocked through by Trenton. And he is down.
Louis looks shaken up on that play right there.
Oh.
This could be very crucial for this team. He's going to walk it off. You know, even back when Mark Hawkins dropped that Hail Mary at the halftime, you know.
Right.
Those
Exactly.
situations could be at the end of the game to win, you know.
And I've said this about the Pioneers. I really think it's all a problem of mindset. You know, you got to get yourself in that mindset where you want to win and you want to, you know, be as competitive as possible. And
You know, we spoke about this earlier. We said you have to have a bigger hatred for losing than you do a passion for winning.
exactly.
And at the end of the day, in a league where a lot of these kids don't play the sport, this is mostly about competition.
Right.
You know, who's willing to
Raw
put more on
athleticism,
the line.
coaching, exactly, dedication. And that's what we saw last year. Oh, wow.
Pfeiffer
He
looks
is
like he's got
fast.
the corner,
Touchdown.
and he gets in the end zone. Score is now 12-6. Dimes are still on top here as we await the conversion from the Hustlers.
Dimes are up, correct?
12-6,
Yes.
correct. You know, a lot of people don't appreciate the conversions. The conversions are crucial.
Yeah, and really we saw this in the Pioneers game as well, because it was 12-6, and the Pioneers got a safety. You know, if that could have been a 2-point conversion, that made all the difference in the game.
Yeah, you know, if we don't get that and when we end up getting the interception, you know, now the score is 12-12. We get that conversion, we're up. But you know,
And in a league where there's no kicking, no 3 points,
it's another play. Intercepted by the guy we just spoke about,
The-
Dion
that- and-
Collins.
and that's an
Tag.
amazing matchup right there.
Thankfully, they tagged him down. You know, you don't want to give up a touchdown right before the half on an interception.
And really, I think what happened right there is a matter of attitude. And, you know, I think he had all the ability to get up there, get physical, make sure the other guy doesn't catch the ball.
You know, effort.
But
Wants that ball more.
exactly.
And right there, I believe Dion Collins wanted that ball more.
Going into the half, 12-6. Where do you see this game going?
You know, I feel like these halftime adjustments are going to be very crucial. You know, this is where coaching truly affects the sport of football.
Yeah, I completely agree. What I spoke about earlier, I think it was great that the Hustlers were substituting guys and getting Robert Cragen on the play. And oh wow, okay, 2-minute
well,
warning.
Turns out we're after 2 minutes instead of half.
Okay. Well.
No, we need a little bit better job done there. Hey Omar, are they maybe at that 10 down there?
Okay, well, after a quick
Breaking
adjustment.
news, Omar Guevara has lost his Pitt Vipers.
It's going to shake the league up really hearing that.
Yeah.
And just to talk about the future games, never mind, we'll talk about it at halftime. There was a quick mix-up. Dion Collins coming to the sideline after an amazing play.
Good job, Dion. No, he came out in the track shorts with the compression pants underneath. He was ready to play. No, you know, I partially expected the Hustlers to come out a little bit better. I think they have the more athletic team, more raw talent of the team, but you know, talent only gets you so far.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I like to see what you think, but I think this is a worse team than what we saw in the Pioneers and Hustlers scrimmage.
Yeah. They look like they're not trying as hard.
I feel like they had the heart out there for the scrimmage, but for the game, it's completely different.
I feel like part of this issue is that they expected to come in here and roll over them.
Exactly.
You know, you see upsets happen all the time,
right.
and it's just usually, it's not really because the other team's a better team. It's just, you know, you come in with this mindset that, all right, guys, we're just going to win this game, you know, like.
You can never have that attitude because they were talking about it being a walk-away in the field side chat as well.
You know, you need to treat every game like it's the hardest opponent you're going to play.
Exactly. Liam.
Or on the left side.
Or something like. Yeah, 10 above us is
10 is a little wobbly.
The structural integrity is being put into question. Wind definitely picking up since the first game.
Yep.
Now these conditions can.
I want to see how this affects Jackson. You know, Jackson, we've seen that he's thrown the ball deep a few times.
Right,
he's looking to push it deep. See if this changes his mindset towards it.
Having two inexperienced quarterbacks, this is crucial. And Joe Taylor, I believe that's who that is.
Jonas is he's a very quick guy.
Yes.
Looks like about a gain of about 15 yards.
Really, the run game has not been very prevalent in this game yet.
You want to close his binder?
Yeah.
All right.
How you doing there? And I really.
Drisno.
Oh, and it's going to Jaheim. Oh, wow.
Dion Collins making a great catch there.
Wow. You know, you could just see in the demeanor of Don Quayle.
He looks beat right now.
He's not happy, and I don't think he's motivated to keep trying to lock up.
You know, getting out jump for the interception on the other side. The interception that really gave them the momentum here.
Right.
And then Don Quayle getting out jumped again on offense by Dion Collins. Dumps off. He's tagged.
I really think he just has more heart right now and more of a want to win.
You know, you watch the two go up for the ball. You know, Dion Collins.
All right, halftime. So, approaching halftime.
We didn't see any timeouts called right there.
We did not.
That's poor coaching right there.
That might have been a lack of awareness.
Just the clock, you know.
You know, it's really a big. The name of the game here is situational football.
Yeah.
You gotta know where you are, how much time you have, and what you can do, and with the players you have.
Yeah, you understand you don't have any sideline coaches like in like real football, but you still have to understand what time is left. You gotta understand how many timeouts you have. You know, Dimes could have probably called a timeout right there and then get a touchdown on the board. But
I completely agree.
instead, you're not aware of the clock, and you just go to halftime.
Right. What do you think about these two coaches, Liam Livingston and Jackson McGuire, and how they're attacking the approach to winning this game?
Jackson has made it very obvious that Jaheim Drislem is their golden boy right now. But Dion Collins has stepped it up, and I think honestly that takes a lot of pressure off of Jackson and Jaheim. Puts a lot of it on Dion, and that opens up the entire offense. You don't want to be one dimensional in this sport.
But I completely agree. I think what happened was Jackson was noticing they're really focusing on Jaheim.
And you're forced to look other ways.
Right, and not right now they don't have the playmakers they would normally have.
Yeah.
So to look at Dion Collins and him making the spectacular plays he did, it's just great that they have another playmaker on their team, such as Dion.
That goes for every team. There's a lot of teams out here that might not know exactly who has what abilities. Today in the Pioneers game, I don't really think Brock Thomas made a catch today.
No.
But he took attention off of the Hunters' best player, Omar, and it opened up. Ben made the game-winning touchdown.
It really was a very defensive game.
Both teams had. I think that was a very athlete-based game. Both
agree.
teams had phenomenal athletes. When you put great athletes on great athletes, you can only win so many of those.
All right. And being the first week, neither team was
Scheme is not
extremely
exactly
prepared.
where it is.
Exactly. Which every team's gonna work on. And to talk about next game, the Goblins versus the Giraffes. What do you have happening in that game?
I honestly, I believe the Goblins actually get it done.
You think they're gonna
win? I
win?
think the Goblins get it done. Jarrett Wolf, Mason Sweats. You have two quarterbacks there. Mario McMillan is here.
He is here.
I saw him earlier. He's
okay.
here.
I think the Goblins Giraffes game, I think it's gonna be a lot tighter than it really should be, and that's because they're missing some of their key players, their quarterback. But I think having Liam Baser on the side of the Giraffes and having good athletes, a lot of people sleep on Will Wagner. He's a great athlete. I think that the Giraffes are going to come up with a win, but I think it's going to be very close and much closer than it should be.
It's not going to be what it should be. It's going to be a good game.
Breaking news, Liam Basura just said that the Giraffes are going to win by 30 points on the Goblins. This is a very bold statement considering the biggest blowout in VXFL history was 30 points. So I'm really looking forward to it. And
those players like Donnie Dixon and Ralph Lynch, maybe they come up big today.
And I think, I really think what's going to have to happen is Goblins need a coach. And if I have to, put this commentating headset down and go over there and coach their team, I will, because it's atrocious. I was at their scrimmage, and Peter lets the guys walk all over him, and I really think that needs to change if they want to come up with a win here, because Donovan Dixon says, I want to play quarterback, and Peter goes, sure. So I think they're really going to have to work on that, and Peter's going to have to take charge of that team.
First step of being a great coach is to earn the respect and trust.
Right, and really any direction is better than no direction. You know what I mean? Having your team coordinated and knowing what everybody's role is going to be crucial for that game. So we'll see what happens here at and what time is it?
It is currently 1:37.
Wow, so this game probably will start around 2:30. You don't think so? What time do you think the game will start at?
Closer to 2. Bold take, guys. 2:03 seems to appear to be the Giraffe start time.
Whether the Hustlers are out there or not, 2:03 they start.
Are we taking bets on this? I'm on the.
I'll be honest with you. I think both teams have pretty equal right now, considering the playmakers that the Giraffes are missing. I would not be willing to put a penny on this game because of that.
Yeah.
It could be a coin toss.
It's gonna be a lot more interesting than I think people are expecting it to be.
Yeah. The Giraffes are a phenomenal team with a great coach. But we'll see what happens. Who knows who their center is going to be? You know, their star center, Zach
Yep.
Sigmund, missing who he's missing. Are you going to be here?
I think I'm sitting here at the table the rest of the day. I'm cool with it. I mean, I don't really care.
Possibly.
But the term any given Sunday holds true.
Yeah.
You know, if there's any time for any upsets to happen, it's the beginning of the season before schemes get developed and
Exactly.
chemistry gets built.
And really, I don't think there was any. You know, I'm a little biased in my stance, but I don't think there was any upsets yet or any things that people really couldn't see coming. People expected the Pioneers to win, even though it was very close.
But I'm pretty sure Jackson McGuire was the only one who voted.
Right, and people, you know, expected Peyton to win just because of the athleticism of his team, and from what I've heard, Peyton's had more direction on his team because the Aces hold practice and 3-4 guys show up, and you really just can't do much with that.
Yeah,
So this
not
was
benefiting you at all.
right. This was really the first time, from what I've heard, that the Aces have been all together as a team. So I know Preston's not going to let that fly. Whether he has to make trades, whether he has to, you know,
Slide people.
talk to his team, but something's going to change on the East Coast with the Aces.
Absolutely. You know, it should be very interesting to see like how the teams shape up towards the latter half of the season, especially with coaches. This is where you guys make your money. You know, off season,
Right.
like not off season, but weekly adjustments. You know, this is what
And
makes or breaks the sport. You know, and we'll be having film come out. You know,
Yeah,
you can watch any
that's
game,
right.
any team.
that's what I was just going to say. Film is going to be such a big role in this league because let's be honest, really the only teams that are going to look at film are the Aces, the Hammers, the Pioneers, and maybe the Drafts. I really don't think any of the other teams have the dedication to sit with their team and watch film.
I feel like the ownership of the Hunters ownership, I don't think they're fully dedicated, missing fieldside chats, not here in the morning to help set up, the inconsistency of the appearance of places is there.
Right.
And that's a really big part of this.
And I know that dedication is everything in this league. I mean, really, we saw it last year with the Aces. They were one of the best teams in the league at one point, and the skill was not there. The athleticism was not there. They were just by far the most dedicated team in the league, and they made it to the championship because of it. Owen.
We're getting ready here to kick off the second half.
Jackson McGuire at kicker. Interesting decision. I don't see really any soccer players that could be out there, but
Yes, there's another game after this. All right. Kicked off.
oh wow, Louis missed that, and
And
fell
he's
on
down
it.
on it. Omar, you still reffing?
What team are you on again? They already played. Oh, that's awesome. He had to get to the game this morning. Unlike you, my team's dedicated. Talking to Christian Rojas. I know he was there, but he got to bed early. He got to bed good and came here early to help set up. I did not see you here, so. All right, Liam. You just go over by that booth. You just go over by that.
Yeah, I kind of can't see Liam.
Yeah, come on, man.
Hey,
Liam
my fault.
Baser is stating his
Getting
political
very
opinion.
political over here.
How you doing, Dylan? Doing all
Don't
right.
Go far. Winner today. Yeah,
Hopefully.
Dylan
Definitely.
Goldfarber's bold statement. He said Pioneers are winning every game this season, and I second that. Confidence. Confidence is a big thing in sports.
There's a big difference between confidence and cockiness, and that's something you see among a lot of these players where they're, confident or overly confident, and it's too.
Gets a completion down the field.
I do not know who that is.
He's makes Oh, he goes out of bounds. All right, big gain, though.
And just-
Louis to shower, buys time, and finds the open man.
And the athleticism of, Joe Taylor and the speed he had, you could see him just
Although
flying
he's
past.
truly a hunter.
Right. Here's what we're gonna do. Oh no, he's not on his team. Wait, yeah, Evan. Real quick, not to distract you, we just need to ask a hustler a question. Where's Michael Gould?
Dude, God knows. I think he's in the ocean right now.
Okay, so as one of
So
the
it is true that he was fishing before the game.
It's very true. I think it's also true he might have got lost. He might have caught a shark and went under. I don't think he can swim.
He might still be fishing.
Well, let's hope that's not
Louis
the
to shower
case.
takes the corner of the end zone, and
And
he's in there.
it's
Touchdown.
a touchdown for
Hustler.
Louis to shower.
Where's your stance on Michael Gould on this team?
You know, I like the guy.
Yep.
He's a real joy.
Yeah.
He just needs to show up,
Okay.
You guys probably couldn't hear him, but he
You-
says he likes Michael Gould. He just doesn't show up. And what are we gonna do?
Where do you think his shots at being the starting quarterback next week are?
I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10 because we're going to totally berate him after this.
You're gonna make sure he knows not to miss again.
Right.
Trust you guys. I'll hold you guys to that.
Yeah, he paid $35 to not show up. It's kind of his loss.
That's one of the most Michael Gould things I've heard.
Dude,
in a
and we
while.
knew it was coming too. We just
So nobody has heard from Michael at all today.
No, he's not answered his phone. Oh, no. We'll have to check back in with the
Well,
situation.
you know, prayers to Michael.
okay.
Hopefully he's okay.
Conversion. It did. Hey, that's gonna be money all year.
2-point conversion.
I'm glad. I'm glad we don't have to play you again.
And he takes the corner again.
And it's
he's
a
in there.
touchdown. Play for play. You'd
We'll
really,
watch the film.
you'd really think the Dimes.
I didn't fully dive.
That's what I'm saying. I think he hit the ground.
Yeah, 100%.
You'd really think the Dimes here were contained outside after getting a touchdown run
You
like
know,
they
they
did.
loved the exact same play twice in a row.
Yeah,
Good
you
game.
did too.
Great game with the Hunters today. For Hunters vs. Pioneers coming on YouTube soon.
I think that.
Respect.
excited for
Hope
it.
so. What the score is now? What it is now? 13-12.
Robert Craig coming over the booth.
13-12 Hustlers now, right?
Robert, what's your stance on Michael Gould on
In the
this
third
team?
quarter.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, let's hope everybody prays for Michael Gould
Hopefully he's okay.
being okay.
You know, he's still. And we're just gonna make this clear. If anything were to happen to him, it would have been avoided if he was here today.
That's very true.
You know, hope he's okay.
I'm sure he's fine. He does stuff
He's
like this all
Michael.
the time, but
But, you know,
definitely keep him in our prayers. Hopefully, he comes home safe.
but he will still definitely be disciplined accordingly.
Oh, definitely. I mean, really, I'm gonna take that back. I don't think he will be at all because you look at this team. You look at how Liam runs the team, and Liam doesn't run the team when Michael's here. It's Michael's team, so
That is also very true. You know, this is where Liam needs to really step up his role as owner, head coach of this football team.
And really, I don't think Liam can do anything, and that's why Michael's such a liability to the team. Is he tries to discipline Michael just won't play.
Yeah.
So that's on the team for not.
Little pooch kick over there.
Oh wow, wow!
Oh,
my
Don Quayle
goodness.
almost making that recovery.
Don Quayle could have had that. I just want to give props to the PA announcer, Liam Becerra. He's doing an
Making it
amazing
very
job.
obvious that he did not get the ball. Yeah, really quick side note right here. Did you expect more fans here today, or?
I was hoping so, and really what the problem is with this is that I don't think it's the lack of fans. I think it's just over such a long period of time with games at different times that there's 10 here first game, and a lot of them sit in their car. 10 here first game, 10 here second game, 10 here third game. We have a decent amount of fans, just they're not on the field and their presence isn't seen.
Yeah.
And that's
Gets it
was
off.
that a sack? Incomplete.
Jackson throws a pretty decent ball. He's
And I talked to Evan McLeod before this game, because I blocked him in our
Yeah.
scrimmage, and
Yeah.
he didn't get to the quarterback once. And what I was talking to him about is how to rush, and Liam really hasn't talked to his team about that, because what they'll do is they'll run straight into the blocker, try to get around the blocker while they're already engaged. And I think what they need to do is get
learn how to
around
get off the
their
blockers.
blockers. You
and
gotta,
get
yeah.
by 'em.
What they failed to realize is you do not want to interact with that man.
Good ball to Jaheim.
Like you see that there, it's looked like he was blocking the blocker.
Yeah.
So you'll see that here next play.
Athleticism doesn't always beat fundamentals.
very athletic, but it just doesn't know how to approach.
I agree. You know, you can't just go out to practice and just run plays and throw the ball around. You know, you gotta
Right.
really work technique.
And we'll see that here, number 13. Let's see.
Jaheim Drisdom.
Oh
Good
wow, he
cut.
got around the blocker and flag.
Got a flag on the play.
False start on offense, I believe, is what they're saying.
Either way, he was sacked. They're going false start.
Right.
Jaheim is not happy with that call. Yeah, you know, you have this. Football has adapted to the clap cadence. You know,
Right.
that does not mean that snap the ball in the clap. That means you are letting the center know you are ready for the ball.
And that's something that the Pioneers do that they took advantage of in the previous game. Is
Ball's going thrown out to Jaheim.
Wow.
Just a little overthrown, or Jaheim stopped running too fast, you know. Two stances on that.
Yeah. I think that was a catchable ball had he backpedaled after turning around.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Jaheim might have stopped a little early, you know. But once again, we see here we have the very Jaheim-heavy offensive look for the Dime. Yes, for the Dimes.
Evan McLeod looking like he's injured coming off the game.
Might have a cramp. You know, he might have to invest in some pickle juice for these games.
Right, and Pioneers will definitely be there next week.
Yeah. We need that massage gun.
Right, talking about Robert Craig, I mean, his physicality
Yeah.
and is very high. It's just, again, he's somebody who doesn't want to get around the blocker. You can see him here. He's I think, one of the better rushers on his team.
So
Let's
he's kind of going deep.
And that's
It is caught.
wow. Owen Casey on the phone with probably a freshman. Let's see how it's going. Wow, Dion drops. Wow, that's
Yeah, shout out to our sponsors, guys. Hey, Omar, Omar, can you straighten out this camera a little bit? It looks a little slanted.
I don't know if they can see that water bottle too.
Yeah, can they see the water bottle? Okay. Just
Hey,
making sure.
Liam. Dude, don't be in our booth.
Yeah, we can't see when you sit down. Jackson McGuire dropped back the pass. Quick release, and it's
Oh, wow,
intercepted by Don Quayle.
intercepted. And like I said, it's going to be a boxing match between these two all day.
You know, we have a tight game as predicted. You know, 13-12 Hustlers are in the lead. Don Quayle making up for the 2 plays given up to Dion Collins.
Yeah, and I think, like we touched on this earlier, I think the Hustlers' biggest problem was coming into this game knowing they were going to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's just not the case in this league all day.
You know, we have a tight game as predicted. You know, 13-12 Hustlers are. You know, I know we talk a lot about like the Goblins and the Dimes as teams that might not be the best teams right now, but you know, I truly believe that every team in this league has a chance to compete.
Exactly, and we're gonna see if we can confirm that later today in the game versus
You
the
know,
Drafts.
do the Goblins meet expectation and you know fall by a lot, or do they show up and play football?
And you know, I'm really rooting for the Goblins because I just want to see them succeed. You know, after a pretty bad draft, some might say, you know, Peter's probably the nicest coach I know. I just want to see him go out there.
And that could hurt him, to be honest.
You know, talking about that, Omar was planning on taking Jared
In the waiver wire.
in the waiver wire draft.
Don Quayle with a nice
wow.
move, getting upfield.
Oh, was that a fumble?
The fumble picked up by Jaheim Drisdom.
That was a fumble.
Hey, Jaheim, keep running.
That was a fumble. Wow.
I'm going to go ahead
Robert
and say
Craig
that is a
trying to track him
touchdown
down,
for
and
the
that is a
Dimes.
touchdown.
Touchdown Dimes, I believe.
Wow.
It is a live fumble league.
Yeah.
Clock stops on touchdowns.
I am shocked about that, considering that
Are we calling this a
No.
touchdown? I believe so.
that's 100% a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Hey, that's
That's
a touchdown.
6. It is a live fumble league.
Wow.
Hey, I said this earlier about the Aces game. You know, people are running with the ball with one hand. You can hit that ball out. That's fumble.
Yeah.
Live ball rules. Anyone carries the ball like LaShawn McCoy, you can smack it out.
And that's something that a lot of teams are probably going to address. That's something a lot
Especially
of
after seeing this play right here.
address in practice is that, you know, if someone's holding the ball out, go with one hand. Don't go with two, obviously, because it's two hands.
Do not try and tag them with 2. Go get a shot at the ball. Especially up the middle in the field like that, going through traffic. You know, if it's a one-on-one situation, obviously your priority is to stop the play.
And really, it's all risk to reward, because that happened in the Pioneers game where I was rushing Dylan Averill, and I don't know who saw it, but he had the ball back here. I went to strip the ball
Yeah.
instead of get him down, which I probably could have, and they ended up getting around a 15-yard gain off that play.
Yeah. In the pocket, of course.
Yeah.
Stepping up, yep.
Yeah. It's no good.
We're getting a false start on this play. That is a big play for the Dimes right there. Score is now, I believe, 18-13. Let's see if we're repeating. I don't think we're repeating the
I don't
conversion.
believe so, no.
18-12. 18-12. You know, getting that stop on that conversion is big because now all the Hustlers need is a touchdown to conversion, and they're in the lead again.
Exactly.
And we've already seen the Hustlers get a conversion. Wait, actually, nope. The touchdown gets the lead. It's 13-18.
Oh, yeah, correct.
Yeah, making sure on the
You know,
scores.
conversions was a big thing that all the owners were talking about before this league started. You know,
Just as important as touchdowns.
we were wondering if we should do kicks this year, introduce kicks, because Masters Academy,
Has goalpost.
has Goldpost, which is the future home of the VXFL. And really, what we decided against it.
Especially after switching fields. You know, you don't want to not have it as an option in the first
exactly,
game. So
exactly. That was really the biggest.
and, you know,
determining
and
factor.
especially in a league where, do you allow a rush on that? You know, we don't have pads on. You're not going to get a full line of scrimmage
Right,
to
and
block.
we were very worried about injuries with that too. You know, guys
Yeah.
putting their body on the line,
To block
rushing the
kicks
kick and
and-
getting kicked in the chest.
Yeah, you're not supposed to block overly aggressive, so you know you can't let them walk
Right.
through either.
And the competitive nature of this league is guys are going to go for it. Guys are going to go.
People are
for
going
that
to try
ball,
and
they
jump
can
over
get-
the
they can-
center, and they're going to,
Right, and they can get extremely injured.
you know, we saw it in the Vero Beach High School versus Boone High School. You know, Liam, what's his name? Nigel Brown. You know, where in overtime gets the game-winning field goal block on the
Right.
PAT, jumps over the center. You know,
Yeah.
PATs are crucial.
Oh, and
Jaheim
wow.
with a little
Ball
squib kick
tipped.
to Don Quayle
Really,
back.
that was a great kick, better than it should have been considering the conditions.
You know, because it took time. Don
Quayle
Quayle,
that was one hand, and he has to get past two guys. Is he going still?
and he's finally down at the
Wow.
opposite 30. What a return!
run.
from
I
Don
really want to
Quayle.
know where Jaheim was on that play.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
as soon as that ball got into Don Quayle's hands, I saw Jaheim disappear. I didn't know where he was, not tracking down the play.
Yeah. And Don Quayle has been very inconsistent this game. He's made some very great plays. He's made some very plays that have really hurt his team. You know,
Right.
I think this game has come come down to Don Quayle and Dion Collins as
I
the two
really
players to
think
watch.
Exactly. I think Don Quayle needs to just, realize that they're still in this game, and he has to show up and show out for his team. Don Quayle crossing the field looks wide open, and DeShower decides to scramble, and it's a
Sure.
short. Wow, that was.
End of the third quarter here, guys. Score is 18-13 Dimes.
No, I still think your prediction of it going down to the last possession on both sides is going to be very accurate.
And you know the situational football as you were talking about earlier really switches if they can't score here down at the goal line.
I agree.
You know, do the Dimes go with a more big contact
He could
on that
file
play?
his taxes back there, to be honest with you. And
Oh,
he
it's-
dives for it. Is that a touchdown? That's
He-
a touchdown.
He was
I don't know why he wasn't doing that from the beginning of the play. I mean,
and it is now 19 to 18. Hustlers in the lead after Louis DeShower stretches out and reaches for the goal line. It is now 19 to 18. Are they going for one? High snap. Louis DeShower drops back, puts one in the dunk. Quill, and he intercepted
by Jackson McGuire. I really don't think he has the speed to get down here. Maybe a
Oh!
No. You know, his team stopped pursuing it.
But you know what? Even though he knew he probably wasn't going to score, he put in effort. And, you
Exactly. And what I would expect, being another owner,
Try
is
your
I would
hardest
be
to
running
get
with
down.
my team, see my team run behind me, blocking, and if I need a pitch, it's a
yeah, you know, if
conversion play.
Jaheim Drism is following you behind there,
You know, that's just, I don't know if it's a lack of, you know,
awareness of the play, and maybe not knowing that you can return conversions in this league.
or maybe not caring, really. Because that could be the game. That could change the game right there.
Yeah, you
Being
know.
such a tight game.
That's +2 and the ball for the Dimes.
Exactly.
That gives them the lead back.
Right.
That makes this a 2019 game with that.
It does.
And obviously your chances of successfully completing a lateral is very low. But you know, as we talk about every couple minutes, it's all about effort.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Liam Basora with a comment.
Correct. And I really think this is a blessing for the Hustlers, only throwing 2 interceptions. I think if Michael Gould was here, that number would look 4 or 5. You know.
Yeah, we saw in the scrimmage with the Pioneers that Michael Gould has a tendency to overthrow footballs. You know,
And really make dumb decisions because he's under pressure.
yeah, me myself playing safety during that scrimmage, I got 2 interceptions just off of balls thrown too high over the middle. You know, over the middle is the one place you do not want to mess it up.
Right. And you know, now that we mentioned it, I'm very thankful we had the opportunity to run that
Little scrimmage.
that scrimmage because that really taught us that we're only gonna have 7 guys, and what we do with those 7 guys is gonna make all the difference.
I think that really made a big difference for today.
I
Hopefully
agree.
we don't have to run into this situation again, but
Having Stephen DeLory back, I think it's gonna.
I think Stephen DeLory is one of the dark horses in this league. I think people
agree.
are,
I agree.
you know, you lose Stephen DeLory when you look at the roster and you see Trevor O'Brien, you see Ben Fadiomi, you see Brock Thomas, Dylan Goldfarb. You know, don't sleep on Stephen DeLory.
And really, I mean, from what I saw today, the Pioneers seem to be a very defense-first team, and it's true for today's game.
Especially when we're at a point in the season where scheme is not there, chemistry is not where it is. You know, athlete for athlete, no bias involved, of course. The Pioneers probably have one of the top two talent teams.
Right.
You know, it's going to be interesting. You know, maybe teams might move into zone coverage. The ones that realize that they don't have the athletes.
Right, and I think zone coverage is going to be crucial here for dedicated teams in the red zone.
Yeah, like you look at the Dimes. Like, how are the Dimes going to match up against the Hunters or the Pioneers, receiver for receiver? You know, you can only guard so many, especially with Stephen DeLory coming back. And you know, if the Hunters can get a quarterback, Omar gets the fully play receiver.
And I think that's going to be exactly the situation next week with the Giraffes. Is they're really going to have to figure out a scheme for zone coverage or come up with something for that combat that athlete to athlete difference.
Man coverage is only, especially if they want to blitz too and put pressure. And you know, being a quarterback as myself, you know, if you don't bring pressure, I will make every throw on the field.
Exactly.
So the Giraffes are gonna have an interesting scheme plan next week.
Especially missing their star quarterback Ryan
Strigley, absolutely.
You know,
And
championship.
and Sigmund.
I would like to point out the only championship quarterback in the VXFL. I really think that's going to change this year.
Yeah, I mean, hey, who knows? Maybe the Giraffes pull it off.
But losing Ryan Strigley, you know,
Is Strigley out for the whole thing, or is he?
Tomorrow's game?
No, like the whole season.
Oh no,
or is
he's
he
out for tomorrow.
just
Today's game. He's out for today's game.
So he will be back next week
Yes,
versus us.
as far as I know.
Oh, Liam
that
Livingston
could've-
almost with an interception.
Wow, that should have been an interception.
That's a big play with having the lead. Score is 19-18.
Currently 3rd down, I believe. 2nd down.
Second down.
Second
All right.
All right, let's see here.
Jackson McGuire rolls out.
Was out
Throws
looking
it.
and
It's low.
I don't know who that is, but the effort was there for the catch by number 7.
Yeah, I mean, I can confirm. Can you fix the phone?
And can you guys guys clear the booth a little bit, please?
Here, scoot it this way. Dylan. Yeah, there you go. It's more in the middle. Actually, no, it's not. Omar, can you set this up properly? All right, I just want to make sure because I saw you moved it. All right, Jackson McGuire rolling out left, looking, and just makes a
What
poor
an
throw.
Atrocious throw. Was he going for number 12 or number 34? Because that makes all
I
the
believe it
difference.
was Jonas Taylor. Oh no, Jonas is 11.
I don't believe that's Joey.
Hey, can we get a time check, Omar?
And
8 minutes
fourth.
left in the fourth
Okay.
quarter. All right, we're coming down
So
to
this
the
is
wire
really where
soon.
it becomes crunch time for
Not
both
to mention,
teams.
this is a running clock until the 2-minute warning.
Right.
Both teams are yet to call a timeout in this game.
Dude, it's am I wrong?
Omar,
I'm not wrong.
what a throw!
Oh my goodness.
Through the hands of Jaheim Drisdom.
Wow.
Great throw by Jackson McGuire.
And to go back what Omar just mentioned, that is the most true statement I think I said on that field today. You know, we saw it in the championship. Last 2 minutes of the game, Omar is lethal.
That's one thing that we will find out soon about players, like who is going to step up under pressure and in those very clutch situations.
Right. And we're about to see that here.
A lot to see that in this game. I think,
Right.
honestly, 3 of the 4 games might all be down to the wire.
Was that a turnover on downs?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It is
it
now
was.
first down Hustlers inside
And I really
enemy
think
territory.
a hustler score here ends the game. You know, I don't think the Dimes.
Depends on how fast they score. You know, they can milk this clock down a little bit.
Right.
Hey, Omar, get Mark to fix the down. Louis DeShower dropping back, got lots of time, and he's down by Jonas Taylor.
Hey, let's clear the booth, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, I got you. What?
To be completely fair, Liam, we've asked you to leave like 4 times.
And you're still sitting here. Wow. You know, it just shows you what type of the organization the Giraffes are running. That their players.
They
are
seem to lack discipline.
Right. Right, and so the Giraffes players just sitting. By the way, his team's practicing. It's not decided to join them. You know.
You do have a fair point, Liam.
He does have a.
We're not going to argue that.
That court.
Hey, Omar.
The court is pretty long, though. I have not. Oh,
Louis
wow.
DeShower,
Great block.
blocking from the Hustlers. Louis DeShower takes off, picks up about 10 yards. One thing I've noticed about the officials here, they are not spotting the ball off the stretch.
Right. No.
Trust me, I know. Omar, can you fix the phone? It keeps sliding. 5:30. Hey, put like this shirt around it or something so it stops sliding.
Those
Obviously,
glasses are going to do a lot in the structural integrity of Hey, Evan. Kick it out, please. Thank you.
I think this needs to be brought up in the next VXFL owners meeting is the spot of the ball on the stretch.
I agree. Definitely come up in the next field.
It is not where the player is touched, it's where the ball is when he is touched. There's a big difference.
Oh, Louis has all the time.
All the time in
pocket.
the world. Look at him scanning the
Jackson's
field, and he's
blitzing.
he's
and
throwing
it's up,
deep.
and it's caught by Robert Craig.
Touchdown Hustlers.
Wow.
Louis DeShower with a great throw. I think Louis DeShower is making a fine case to be a starting quarterback of this team next week.
You know, and I think Robert Craig is one of the more slept-on players in this league.
Absolutely.
I think he's a great athlete, but I just, you know, he doesn't get the time of day on the team, especially with Liam Livingston his coach last year. He never touched the field.
Dylan Goldfarb is in complete disagreement with that statement you made.
You know, I'm not comparing him to the skill level of Dylan Goldfarb,
Yeah.
but he's an athlete that can perform when giving the matchup that people put him against.
Especially being surrounded with a team that has other talent. Like, you know, no one's asking him to be that number 1 guy in that offense, you know.
Right.
He really fits in as like that 2-3 receiver slot. It complements the ones very well. No, but I'm extremely interested to see what happens when Michael Gould makes an appearance. You know, do they just?
Oh wow! Did you?
Does Michael?
I don't know if you saw that, but Joe Taylor and Jaheim collided, and Liam Livingston was wide open because of that.
No, unfortunately, we have men standing inside the production booth, so
Yeah,
it's a little
I
difficult
think
to
these
see.
guys standing in front of the production booth are they don't hear us. But. Okay, so
I believe that should be a delay game penalty.
3:44 in the fourth, and the score is
25-18, down by 7. You know, it's not out of reach. You know, as I said,
it's gonna come down to the clutchability if
and
you know
it comes back down to that conversation we had about how important those conversions are.
exactly. You know, Robert Craig, the star of the last play, and we were talking about how he should get more play time on the field. What do you have to say, Robert? He's doing God's work in
Quote,
this
doing God's work.
Christian-driven league. You know.
Speaking of God, we'd like to thank sponsorship from the FCA. Coming out and helping out and volunteering.
Yeah, they really did a lot of
Appreciate
great
that.
work. Listen, we got to give our sponsorships their
Yeah,
shout
we
out.
can, we can go through the sponsor list.
Who would we like to thank today?
You know,
Oh,
thanks
that's potential.
potential. Chick-fil-A is no longer a potential. We got Cafe 6 being represented today. The FCA, Gas South, Masters Academy, Next Level Productions, Tropical Property Management, Renegade Visuals, Rooted Landscape Services, and Village Beach Market. Thank you to all of our sponsors for making what we can do possible. You know, I did wish a little bit more for that Chick-fil-A stand. You know, feel a little bit bad for him.
And really, I'll be their biggest customer today.
Yeah, you got
I'm-
two.
I'm going back over there. You know,
Absolutely.
After this game.
You know, God's chicken is a
Yeah,
very
I
important
mean,
thing to have here.
you know, it's the drip.
Hey, that's the nose of a winner.
And we'll see if that is also the nose of a winner. Who, Jaheim? Statement by Robert Craig of the Hustlers. Jaheim, that kid is really good.
That kid is very good. Hey, he came out. Oh, he took the beanie off.
Oh wow, you know it's getting serious now, Jim.
You know, I'm a little disappointed he didn't wear it over the face too. You know, it's hot out there.
Jaheim on.
All my light skin folk.
Wow, there.
Good defensive
I
play.
really do not know what the Dimes are doing right now.
Hey, Omar, let them know they have timeouts.
I think you're in this situation
No,
because they
do.
didn't use him in the second.
Nobody
first
has called a timeout this game. And, you know, going back to timeouts, right before the end of the first half, the Dimes were inside the 10-yard line and ran out of time because they didn't call a timeout.
And I think
The Dimes, they were, with like 10 seconds left of the half, they were inside the 10-yard line, but they didn't call a timeout.
And I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's all a matter of situational.
Deion
Wow,
Collins with a move
Deion
out of
Collins.
bounds.
And that should stop the clock with how much time left, Omar? How much time left? A minute 56 left.
Hey,
The
this
chains
reminds
are
us of the
moving.
first game we saw today. Minute 56 left
Right.
in the game. Last drive.
There,
Let's-
you
can
know,
you
the
make a
Pioneers
play?
had a minute 27 to make something happen.
Can you make a play?
And let's see if they can do it here.
Let's
I
see
think
who is going to step up today.
the clutch ability. It's going to be question on what Peter Wixon is
He
doing.
goes to Jaheim Drisdom.
Oh wow!
Makes a phenomenal grab. Jaheim Drisdom, the
First down, that stops the clock.
the 1-day contract man himself.
You know, and we all saw that coming. We
Yeah.
really did. You know, you have a minute 30 left in the quarter.
Get the
which
ball to your
ends the game.
playmakers.
And you really have to spread it around. I think that Deion Collins is going to be a read here, you know, with Jaheim. But I think besides that, if he sees nothing between those two,
Not to mention they get Cornell Wilson back
right?
and Sean Josie.
Dimes, yeah, and he's going to be very good for this team. And what's going to be the problem with the problem with this team, and I don't think it looks like a playoff team. You know,
In the
with
long run.
in the long run,
Especially
you know,
with
they're-
Josie not being here for the playoffs.
exactly.
Jaheim won't be here week 5 and on.
They're going to become reliant on these playmakers. We've said it before, and we'll say it again.
You know, this is where Deion Collins is really going to have to take over that role as the number one guy on this team.
I completely agree. Stand by Owen Casey. The most heated game was the Pioneers and Hunters, and I think that just comes down to
Passion.
the passion and the want to win, the competitiveness of Omar's one of the most competitive guys in this league.
But Owen Casey did not step down from that.
Liam, could you just leave the booth, please?
All right, Jackson McGuire ready to take the snap. Oh, it looks like we have either a false start or an
flag.
encroachment. Appears to be encroachment on the defense. That is 5 yards. That's
huge.
It's a big. You take every yard you can get.
Owen Casey moving up. Oh, the chain gang has not moved, so.
I believe they're in a goal situation.
Okay.
So the chains are. Did you not?
Right, I did not notice that. And Charlie Marks off. I would argue
No
there
blocking on that play.
yeah. And we've seen great blocking this game from both teams. That was not one of those moments when it's needed the most.
Yeah.
I think Jaheim Louis. I think
yeah.
Louis a great defender, but it's a mismatch, and he's down.
Louis DeShower is playing outside leverage on Jaheim with no safety in the middle. I don't know how they have called a post or a slant yet for him. Jaheim has already proven to make tough catches today.
Right. I think even with that, now that he's playing inside, you do a fade in the end zone, and I think Jaheim can come down with that ball. I think Louis is one of the most athletic guys on their team, but I don't think is that a 2-yard gain? What is this? Fourth down. This is the game, folks. This determines whether
This
the Dimes
appears
can
to be
come up with this win.
the game.
And I'm very appreciative that there's nobody in our line of view.
Jackson McGuire rolls out left, rolls out right.
And his mobility, and it's up to.
And it's caught in
That's
the
a
end zone
touchdown.
by Dion
Wow.
Collins last second.
What?
All right,
What
well,
it-
they're still down by 1.
Okay, so this is
This conversion,
this
the
conversion
decision to
huge.
make the 2. Honestly, if you're a head coach, what are you deciding here, 1 or
I'm
2?
going for 1.
You're
Every
playing
time.
the 1.
I trust my defense enough, and I think that their offense is getting tired. I think that the Dimes can be confident enough in their ability.
I might disagree with you there. I think early in the season, everyone's guaranteed a playoff game. I don't see why not go for 2.
I could tell you why, because I'm looking for seeding. I want to be against that worst team in the
You want that
playoffs.
1 seed, okay?
I
but
want that 1 seed.
being
and
a team such as the Dimes, who probably know they will not be the 1 seed, you don't think they might go for momentum here and try and win the game?
my goal is to win every game, and I think if you want to win,
that week by week mentality is very important. They're going for 2.
Going for 2. I really think this is an idiotic decision on Jackson McGuire's part. I don't think they have the coaching nor the scheming or the plays to be able to make a play like this. 15 yards.
I can
that's the
guarantee you
penalty
that what
game.
they are calling right here is a post to Jaheim Drisdom over the middle.
And I don't think that.
Jaheim Drisdom will come down with this ball.
And I think if it's a high point ball,
It's
Jaheim
going to
will come
Jaheim.
down that
Jaheim.
every time. They bring 2. The blockers are all the time in the world, really. And it's going to. Oh wow! Wow. And I think that's the whole difference. They would have went for 1 there, and I think it'd be a tie game right
Yeah.
now.
You rewatch the film after this, Jaheim had leverage and had space. I think Jackson just didn't want. I think Jackson expected it to be guarded. He's made that throw already today.
Wow.
You have Lou DeShower playing 10 yards off. Jaheim makes a break. Throw it right off that break, You give your guy a chance to make a play.
And I'm so happy, being the owner of the Pioneers, that we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But when we play the Dimes, Jaheim's gone, and really we're gonna have to focus on their team that they have. So that's
Nonetheless, it's been a phenomenal game so far.
I agree. 1 point game. This game's most likely over.
Yes.
They have to go for the onside kick here, but
I think they might still have 3 timeouts.
and how much time
They
is
have 2
left?
timeouts.
19. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay, so they get this onside kick. You know what? Honestly, you know what I'm doing? I might honestly send this middle field and just let Jaheim go get it. Don't onside it. Kick it. Kick it deep. Let Jaheim be an athlete.
and nobody's.
They have nobody deep.
Nobody's deep.
Honestly,
If you're the coach here,
I'm kicking it deep.
I'm setting my fastest guys down.
I'm kicking it deep right sideline. Let Jaheim Drisden be an athlete and go
But
get the
they
ball.
look like they're going on the onside kick, and it's wow, and that's the game.
The coach himself, Liam Livingston, on the game saving.
I would imagine they take this into victory formation now.
And just walk out with your win. You know, honestly, if I'm the Hustlers, I'm not satisfied with the performance.
Yeah, I really didn't see. I really didn't see a stellar performance from either of these teams today.
You know,
I think
Their
they both
pass-
have a lot of work to do.
yeah. Their pass rush looked lackluster compared to the scrimmage we had versus them.
I agree.
And I think that is
You know,
You know,
the
maybe-
Hustlers pass rush is what sent the coach of the Pioneers into injury reserve for
Yeah.
about a few hours.
yeah.
And
You know, we had some I'm gonna come to you.
I think it's me and OB again. Yeah.
O'Brien has a pulled hamstring right now.
I got a pulled hamstring. I got a broken nose.
Nose goes, guys. Hey. He's got a double
I
tap.
touch right here.
You know, it's kind of interesting, the situation that we're in, because if I'm the Hustlers, I'm disappointed, but if I'm the Dimes, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, you know, you come into this game expecting to be blown out, or maybe not their team expecting, but that was the consensus among the owners, besides myself. But he hasn't needed, and it's over.
And that should do it for today's game.
You know, a timeout.
Maybe he's just looking for a bobbled snap or over the head. You know, you never know.
Yeah, and we've seen that quite a few times this season, especially in the last game, or in the first game. Excuse me.
No, of course. Yeah, no. If I'm the Dimes, I'm not disappointed in this loss. You know, Jaheim obviously, of course, helped, but I think Dion Collins really stepped it up today, and you might have a superstar on that team right now. Not to mention Sean Josie and Cornell Wilson coming back.
I think the Dimes have a great team, and
I think Jackson McGuire impressed, and that is the ball game. Hustlers will win this game 25-24 over
Very
the Dimes.
close game.
Great game by both teams.
We're a non-believer.
What are you talking about? In what?
Are we off?
Oh yeah, because I picked